The Times Square bomb scare suspect is a naturalized United States citizen. He recently returned from a 5-month trip to Pakistan, and according to a criminal complaint filed in federal court, he confessed to buying the SUV, putting a homemade bomb inside, and driving it into Times Square. Investigators say he also admits he received bomb-making training in Pakistan. With us this morning, Michael Wild, a former federal prosecutor and immigration attorney who has worked with alleged terrorists and defectors cooperating with the U.S. government, and Chris Liebig, a criminal defense attorney joining us from D.C. Nice to have you both with us. Okay, Michael Wild, let's talk to you first. Your family has a history in the immigration department. Your dad actually helped John Lennon stay in this country when they were trying to deport him many years ago in the 70s.
How the winds have changed, Roseanne, over time.
Okay, so let's talk about this case. Do you think that we need better safeguards when applying for U.S. citizenship?
Absolutely. Part of the intelligence gathering process is not just having human asset intelligence in Al-Qaeda or Pakistan or elsewhere, but being able to garner from simple forms. Thank God for the vigilance of our NYPD, law enforcement intelligence service, even the vendors on the street. But when immigration examiners have a person in a federal building and there isn't even a question on the form, and we're immigration lawyers, and the form says, are you a communist? But it doesn't talk about, did you do any training in a terrorist camp? Or they don't have any triggers in there where they can denaturalize somebody. He now has the full protection of U.S. citizenship when he goes into these federal court proceedings.
Chris Liebig, let me ask you something. Did you see any red flags so far in his applying for U.S. citizenship?
Well, you know, I respectfully disagree a little bit. First is that for one thing, it probably would not have had a major effect on these proceedings. He was arrested on U.S. soil for a U.S. crime and would likely be prosecuted in the federal court anyway. But I think we shouldn't blame too quickly the people that processed his application. It's all Monday morning quarterbacking in a way. He was here since college. He attended a college in Bridgeport, a master's degree. And based upon his mere nationality, I don't know that anything much could have been discovered. And certainly he wasn't going to answer questions on the form such as, have you ever been to a terrorist training camp? So,
well, let me ask you something. Do we need to change the law right now? Michael, let me ask you something. Are we putting political correctness above our safety?
No doubt. We do not have to be politically correct with a gun faced to our head. We have a different standard and a different expectation of privacy in transportation hubs and airports. And I do respectfully disagree with the gentleman, because the truth be told, a person who is applying for citizenship has to be truthful. And if they commit fraud, you can take the citizenship away. You can then put him in a military tribunal where we do not give him a platform or an audience. The venom that these insidious characters spew is going to continue as the media takes this case to court. We have to protect the methods and operations of the intelligence service, of our police. We have to make sure that this rogue or this individual, or for all intents and purposes, a guy who couldn't even put a bomb together, does not reveal the way we investigate the forensics. Because there are a lot of copycatters, there are domestic and international terrorists, and there are other people that may use this intelligence as they did in '93 for the 2001 World Trade Center.
Chris, let me ask you, as a criminal defense attorney, how would you handle this case if he hired you?
Well, here's the thing. This is it's an unusual situation, but I would say that given the strength of the evidence against him, whether they use his statements against him or not, which they probably can here, the strength of the evidence and the seriousness of the charges, bottom line, the chances of this guy avoiding life in prison is almost zero. The only chance for it would be, and as slim as that may be, would be substantial cooperation. And I think that one thing you can see happening here is that, citizen or not, he's being tried in the federal court, and that process has the opportunity to make him into a cooperator that can help the FBI. It appears to be happening already, and it is his only path to salvation given the chances of him being acquitted on the evidence we already know. So I think the smart path to go, if the client is inclined to do so, is to keep on that path.
Chris Liebig in D.C., thank you so much. Michael Wild, appreciate you coming into our studio. Greg?
Thank you.
All right, Rosanna and gentlemen, thank you very much. On to